Welcome again to Exceda's Connection 2011. I'm Carl Ford. I'm here with my pal, Mr. Lottero. How are you?
Good.
Dennis,
How you doing, Cal?
I got nervous about the name there just for a moment.
No problem, Cal.
So, real quick.
Yes.
Walsh Wireless and Vision merged together. So
That's correct.
okay, and that happened when?
That happened in March, Cal.
Okay.
Walsh Wireless is a systems integration company. Vision Wireless was a systems integration company, both on the wireless side. They had expertise in two different areas of the wireless. Walsh Wireless was mostly on the engineering side. Vision Wireless was mostly on the device management and the integration into back-end systems. So by merging together, we now have a much stronger company that gives us really a full bandwidth, if you will, of all the solutions of everything that you need to deploy machine-to-machine technology.
Well, what's been interesting, Dennis, is the conversations before you got here. A lot of people have been mentioning Walsh, and what they've been saying is that there's been some interesting stuff you did with fleet management and insurance. You want to talk about that?
Sure, Cal. We started off on the, if you will, the telematics or fleet management side. We're engaged by a couple of insurance companies. As you know, insurance companies are now coming out, automobile insurance companies are coming out with what they call usage-based insurance. And the idea is that you take a small wireless device, machine-to-machine device, you put it into an automobile, which is a machine, and now you can monitor what's going on in that vehicle, engine temperatures, speeds, etc. These devices also have accelerometers in them, so we can measure how fast that vehicle is turning, fast starts, fast stops. It has GPS in the little device, so we know where the vehicle is, and it also has a cellular connection. So now we take all of that information out of that vehicle and we transmitted that into the into the Exceda database. Mm-hmm. Now, once it's in that database, we're now able to layer multiple applications onto that set of data. So, as an example, if we had a fleet operator, and that fleet operator said, you know what, I have all these trucks out there, and I just want to be able to manage my fleet. I want to know where my drivers are so I can most effectively dispatch them to my customers and do route management. So we could then take that information, layer a route management application on top of that data, and now that customer is enjoying the benefits of that device in that vehicle, machine-to-machine communications, and giving him information to manage his business. Now, secondarily, that fleet manager would probably be interested in, well, how are the vehicles doing? What's the engine temperature, right? Transmission temperatures, right? Oil pressure, things like that. So then we just layer a vehicle management application on top of that. Same data coming up, but now it's feeding two different applications. It is giving the customer two different views of the, if you will, the same asset. Adding to that, we could say, do you want to know how safe your drivers are operating? Right? Because driver safety is important. So we put a driver safety application up there. And it looks at fast starts, fast stops, idle time for specific drivers. And then we're able to have that fleet manager able to talk to his drivers and say, you have to stop driving so fast or accelerating so fast, wastes gas, etc. So one of the more interesting applications that we're layering on there is the ability to inhibit texting while you're driving. So as everyone knows, there's a lot of government and insurance, and everybody's looking at the safety factor here. So what we're able to do is we have a partner that has a a text inhibiting application. So you load over the air, you load a small piece of software onto the phone so you know what's going on in the phone. And then we virtually marry the phone number to the vehicle number. So now when we see with our fleet management application, we see the vehicle moving, take that information to the server, we send information over to into the text inhibiting software, and we say that vehicle is moving, that phone is then moving, look at it. It looks at the phone and says, is there a headset attached to that phone? If there is, then we'll allow them to continue using voice. And if there isn't, turn off the voice on that phone. But in all cases, turn off the texting capability of that phone. So there's now 4 applications coming off one device in one vehicle.
Okay, that's fairly interesting. Now you guys do integration work for companies. So
that's correct.
Ideally, like who's your top customer? Like who are you looking to talk to right now?
Well, we're doing business with some large insurance companies here in the U.S. That are trying to deploy what's called usage-based insurance, which is putting a device in and then measuring how the driver is driving that vehicle. So it gives the automobile insurance company the ability to rate their drivers as far as what they consider to be a safe driver, and in return they provide a discount to that driver. if you're going low mileage, low speed, etc. And there's a lot of people out there in that position. So they put this in, they can show the insurance company they're safe drivers, and the insurance company then is allowed to give them additional discounts.
Okay.
And again, the same thing applies, because that customer might say, well, I have a teenage driver, and I want to know, as a user, not the insurance company, as a user, I want to know if my son or daughter is speeding. I want to know if they go in or out of this area of the city, or these areas of the city where I don't want them going to. Or I can even say a specific address. I don't want my son or daughter going to this address because I know that whatever, bad kids hang around there. So we have a web portal that we've developed so that the parent can go in, they can see their statistics of how they're driving, but they can also say, set up thresholds. Speed over this, right? Going in this area, hard braking, hard stopping, etc. Here's my email address, right? If that happens, right, send me an email or send me a text message, so right away I'll know, all right, my teenage driver just violated one of the rules. They can't drive the car for the next week.
I need one more enhancement on this. I needed to basically send my daughter the message as if it was me.
Well,
would be...
if I did that, right, then I'm violating one of the things, and I'm sending them a text message.
Right.
Right? But I could do that by saying, send the text message, but send that text message after they stop driving, since we know all this stuff. And then we could send the text message after they drive saying, you've just been nailed.
Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Great. Dennis, thank you so much for your time.
Kyle, thank you very much. Appreciate it.